Let me introduce the day's events for you. First, I'd like to welcome you to this conference on Qatar, U.S. ally, or Global Menace. I think you can probably tell from our hashtag where the answer lies. The hashtag is Qatar the Menace, as in Dennis the Menace, but Qatar the Menace. So it's not too much an open question. I'm Daniel Pipes. I'm president of the Middle East Forum, and it's my happy task to thank you all for joining us this morning, this beautiful morning in Washington, both those of you who are here in person and those of you who are on the live streaming. We're meeting today in the brand new International Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. I'm told that this is the first event of this sort as opposed to a wedding that's ever taken place in this impressive building. Given our topic, especially the cyber hacking and related issues, this is not completely inappropriate as a venue for us. We intend to end our proceedings by 4 p.m. Everyone is invited who is here in person to breakfast and then to lunch. For the sake of efficiency, we will take a number of fairly short breaks. Hope you can help us keep them relatively short. Please make sure that your mobile phones are either off or set to vibrate. The event's goal is simple: to explore and draw conclusions about a tiny country's large influence in the Middle East and beyond, and especially in the United States. It is rather remarkable. The number of nationals in Qatar is just slightly over 300,000. It is a very small number. But the wealth of the country and the drive of its leadership have made it into an international force. And by the way, it's not new. As I noted in my introduction in the book that you have in front of you, already in the mid-1990s, following the collapse of the Soviet Union, there was a joke in foreign policy circles: now that the Soviet Union's gone, what are the two great powers? The United States and Qatar, came the response. So it's not a new thing. It was less malign perhaps 20 years ago, but the ambitions and the money have been there for some time. We put together an international cast to investigate topics as diverse as the Football World Cup and cyber hacking of prominent Americans. Now, for a word from your sponsor, the Middle East Forum, the host, primary host of today's event, for those of you who are unfamiliar with us, is a Philadelphia-based, once think tank and now what we call think and action tank. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary 2 weeks ago. MEF has two major topics: the Middle East in all its aspects, political, historical, religious, economic, and so forth, and Islam in the West. We have decided that Islam in the West fits our mission. Not Islam in other parts of the world, but Islam in the West, a new topic, basically. Our staff number is nearly 40 and we have some 25 fellows. We take pride on approaching problems in our areas with three tools. The first is intellectual, having original ideas. The second is activist, turning those ideas into policy, or in other ways making them happen. And thirdly, philanthropic, working with allies to advance those ideas. We raise money specifically to give to our allies, some of whom you see, logos you see behind me. Qatar's role in the world is a natural topic for the Middle East Forum to focus on, given our long-standing interest in several topics: the impact of oil and gas wealth, the intricacies of Persian Gulf relations, and the teaching of Arabic and Middle East studies in the United States. Qatar Foundation is very involved in the last point. I hope by the end of this conference you will be able, without any problem, to answer the question of the conference: Qatar, U.S. ally or global menace? It's now my pleasure to call on Greg Roman, Director of the Middle East Forum and the organizer of this event, to give you more specifics on the rationale and purpose of the day's activities.